Well, good morning, everybody. Technology likes to cause issues, but we won't let it. Technology likes to come in and say, no, no, what are we doing? And the rest of us are like, no, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? We need to make sure that you are doing good morning, everybody. You need to be doing. Technology likes to cause issues, but we won't let it. Technology likes to come in and say, no, no, what are we doing? The rest of us are no, no, what are you doing? What are you are doing? Good morning, everybody. You need to be doing. I don't know what is all of that. Okay, maybe we're ready. Is that my lipstick stuck on there? All right, let's share my screen. I think we're ready to do right now. There we are. It's not repeating. Before it was repeating everything I said. That wasn't the plan. Okay, so this morning it's about 2 minutes before the market is opening. Danae says, "Good day. I hear Devin supposed to merge with Citra. Oh, merge. We buying the rumor, selling the news, whichever. Devin and Citra. Never heard of Citra, but with Devin, we had Devin on our Iron Condor list, so we want to be mindful of that versus the other. I mean, more than the other, you got to make sure we watch Iron Condor. So those of you who did Devin as an Iron Condor, which be me too, we definitely need to pay attention to that, right? Thank you for that news. Good morning, by the way. Good morning, Nori. How are you today? Coolly, coolly. Last night we had the day one of the Start with the Chart challenge, and I think it was a grand kickoff. I think it was a wonderful, every great value. We will continue day two today. If you make to the fourth day to decide to come in, but go ahead and get signed up at educatortotrader.com. All right, so the VIX is at 1358 this morning. Up just a taste, up 3.58%. It's at 1350. I can SPX over here. Now this is an SPX. See how we opened this morning. Let me see what I have for the open. Come on, slide back, side to the left. Looked like we had a bit of a gap, a small gap down. It gap down from the close at 52.83 and it opened today at 52.78. So that's about a 5 point drop or a gap that will want to be filled potentially. Was first thing this morning, close to where it closed yesterday. That's what's going on there. All right. We'll swing back around. We'll swing back around to it after we go through a few things. Yahoo Finance talks about, there we go, why Wall Street's not jazzed about the U.S. economy. No. U.S. futures slide doubts about the economy grow. GameStop is just one part of jumpy. Listen, the guy who was the meme person for GameStop would happen to agree that he is manipulating. It says here, market close, GameStop short seller, market nomination over time. So the the short seller, I don't think he's a short seller. I think he's the one who's buying it. But anytime you put, billions of dollars or $1 billion or a bunch of million into something, um, and then it pops, that person can jump out at any time. And then when they jump out, basically whoever is holding the bag will be left holding the bag. And he may or may not send another tweet that says I'm out. He may go ahead and get out, and then after the price starts falling off a cliff, because if you put that kind of money into a stock, that's what moves the price of the stock like that, is big orders like that. So GameStop rally, what the options market saw coming, that's something going on. A lot of people want to get in on it ran up last time, I'm gonna get in. They don't like to hear nothing about manipulation. You must be stopped. Ford CEO talks EVs relationship with Elon Musk. Tech companies bet on carbon removal. Startups beware the retirement savings time bomb. Okay. Oh, Toyota apologizes for cheating on vehicle testing and halts production of 3 models. That's a no bueno. We like Toyotas. We want calendar. Today's Tuesday. We have Jolt's job openings at 10 o'clock. Factory orders month over month at 10. And then tentative, this RCM tip optimistic, economic optimism. Almost anyway. 10 o'clock is when we don't have, this is the Jolt's job opening is our red folder for today. And that is something we should be mindful about, right? We should be mindful about that. Let's see who had earnings. Lord, it be the stuff, it's running behind me. I'm clicking and it's not moving. While this is on the durable exclusive defense month over month, that's all 10 o'clock. We got two stars here at factory orders. Got that. 3 stars at 10 o'clock, which is job openings. We knew that was going to happen. And total at 4. I may need to go to this place because this screen doesn't seem to want to be acting. Doesn't seem to want to be. Pow. Okay. I'm looking at my screen because it needs to be acting right, and it's not. Ooh. I don't want to go to that slide. Slide to the right. Slide to the left. Crisscross. No monkey. Don't stop a show. No monkeys. One monkeys. None of the monkeys stops the show. So let's go and find a way. I wanted to talk about what earnings we had. All of it's moving slow right now. What are you doing? What? Let me see if I can get a photo of our earnings popped it up. There we go. We'll go with that. So yesterday, we had JIT Lab or CAB, Bark, Health Equity, Avaro. This morning, we had Bath and Body Works. And after market close today, CrowdStrike wants to anticipate Lakeland. So tomorrow morning, though, where are we? Just putting stuff all over the place. Here we go. Well, maybe we go. Pow, stay there. Tomorrow morning, or Unify, I think has something to do with food. Camels, Hip Asian company, Lands End, Rev, and Global Blue. That's all tomorrow morning before market opens is where we are with claim was the long target as posted in SPX with 5285 target where I want to lock in your gains. We hit it and we dipped 5288 to 5238 is the chop range. Basically, 5282 one fails, then we test 5238, and that must hold. Otherwise, there will be some more falling down. More falling. We don't want to have that be. Let's go back. In fact, there we go. Let me see. SPX still is kind of chilling at the moment. We're on the daily candle. Let me put it on the 15-minute so we can see a different time frame. It's going to look about the same, but this big old candle, now it looks like a big old candle because it's in reference to other candles in this same time frame. So this is what SPX is doing in the moment. If you've got some stocks, I'm going to look at 3 or 4 of them. I've got 4 stocks I want to look at today. And if you've got some you want to see, then put them into the chat, the chitter chat. Put them in there so we can see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now you want to show up. Wow. Here we go. Let me see who's here this morning. Oh, CTRA is Kotera. Morning, Tanya. Lisa's here. Good morning, Marcia and Ray. Good morning, you all. All right. We're looking now at... So that means y'all didn't see. That means y'all didn't see the Adams numbers. Let me go and do that because I want you to be able to see that. Yesterday, 5257 reclaim was the long target as posted in SPX with 5285 target where I wanted you to lock in gains. We hit it and dipped 5288 to 5238 equals chop range to set up the trend. Plan today, 5251 tested equals support. Keeps 5270, 5280, 288, breakout alive. If 5251 fails, we test 5238, and it must hold. Okay. 529 is the call for XSP, and 523 is the puts area for XSP as well, for those who are trading XSP. Okay. We talked about the Start with the Chart challenge, which is running right now. If you want to go ahead and grab and get in on that with us, you can go ahead and do that. Let's see what we can get deeper into our charting technical analysis, which is very important that you have a good plan and a good understanding of charting. It's the foundation of all things, right? You go to educatortotrader.com. You can get signed up. We did one day. If you want to see the recordings, you want to do the after party, the charting. Like yesterday, we went through 3 or 4 more charts after in our Q&A in our after party time, and I put out some trade ideas for each of those 4 stocks that people could use right away. You could use those right away, and they're also got the recordings from the sessions. You're going to get those if you're in the VIP. So, Educator to Trader, you can head over to that, and then you can get yourself registered. I was looking here at SPY. I see you, Lisa. You've got Devin there. We got previous pre-market low. Pre-market. What is this big old candle right here? Pre-market low, pre-market high, and then the opening range. I'll leave that there for a minute to see for SPY. Okay, Lisa put Devin. Let's go check out Devin. Putting us on the daily chart. And take us off of here so I can maneuver. Okay, what we did have yesterday, this is what Devin did. This is today, I think. Devin, yes, this is today. So it has gapped down at the open today. I can put a little square or a little rectangle on here to let you see the close of yesterday's candle and the open of today's candle is the gap. Now, this will change hopefully through the day because This is today's price action, so it may go into the gap, but that's where from the close to the open is where it went. The wick may change, so it may go up into the wick a little bit more, but that's where we are for the gap. So we have Devin, we put in on a iron condor. We do see, I see a little more of the downwards motion, so a more of a bearish move. Let me see what's back here for, nope. Let me see what's back here for support. Probably here. This is a gap that didn't get filled. I'm on the daily chart. The close of this candle to the open of this one, and then we can nope, yep, nope, nope, yep, nope. Well, that gap has been filled. It was filled with this red candle. So that's really not a gap. The red candle wick that went all the way back down, it fielded it. But let's put this here because that is still some support. That's support right there. And let me change this to a line chart real quick, see if I see something that is right in here, which is the bottom of that gap. You also see, anytime you see these pointies, that's support. But all this straight line here, all that is momentum. This is the chart. All this is momentum over here. That's the pointy. And below us, we're down to 44.37 is another pointy place. Okay, now let's go back to candles. All right, so we've got support at 45.45 and support at 44.38. If we're looking at resistance, of course, the top of this gap will provide that for us, which is also the bottom of these numbers, which is like 47. Price approaches and rejects 48. Did I write these the other day? I'm thinking I did. Let's go see what the numbers look like on this is Devin. Put credit spread. We're looking at 45 or 44.5, depending on where you are, either 45 or 44.5. And on the call credit spread side, I'd probably go with 47.5. So 45, 47. We got a plus minus 1.5. So if we took away 1.5, that actually was at 44.5. And if we added 1.5, that puts us at 47.5. Change it to vertical, 44.5. This is a 50-cent spread. It's paying $5. I honestly would widen it out some so that way you could get a little bit better premiums. That only pays $7, so it's not really worth it to widen it on that side. $5 for a 50-cent spread probably would be better to just do 2 of those on that side. And then 47.5 is paying $5 also. And if you widen this spread, it probably does the same thing, makes it like $8, which you might as well leave it as a 50-cent spread and take in 5. But I'll say I'm not a fan of taking in $5 because you're going to spend $1 on each side, at least $1 to enter for fees. Well, if you're in Robinhood, you're not going to pay that much. If you're in Thinkorswim, you're going to pay fees. If you're in Robinhood, you're not going to pay those fees. But if you're going to close it, if you're going to let it ride out, then $5 may be okay. But if you're going to try to close it, then you're going to have to be mindful of that part of it because you're going to pay to close. You're going to buy it back, and when you buy it back, you're going to pay to close that way because you're buying it back, right? All right. That was Devin. I don't know if I don't know if I'm a fan of trading that at this point. Not today, not right now, unless it comes closer to the zones and you can get better premiums. I'm not sure I'm crazy about it yet. Hey, Tamar, how you doing? Let me make this bigger so we can see. So we can see a little bit better on the numbers. Tanya asked for Google. So let's go there next. Let's go to the chart. Google, I believe, was on our put credit spread list. It's a 2.5 spread. So you're keeping that in mind. I didn't want you. I don't want you. There we go. Move this line up. I see support at 173.34. It has come and touched it a couple times, trying to get itself moving. These moving averages are coming together, but they could be coming together just so they can go on up some more. But there was a gap back here that did get filled by this big old red candle. If you really wanted some more support, you could go down to the 170. If you wanted to go, one more line down and see what else is down here, you've got this area here that would work for you as well, somewhere in here. All right, 171, 170, somewhere in there. Let's go look at it on the probability out of the money side. So 170 is at 79%. 167.5 is at 90% probability out of the money. Plus minus 3 or 3.9, which is 4. So it takes you down to 170. So really both of these things confirm that 170, and the chart confirms that 170 is okay, right? The chart says 170. If you got down here, you're still in a good spot. You could, if you wanted to get a little closer, because there is support before the 170, but that may be uncomfortable for some. But you've got 173 and 171. Let you know that 170 is still a good place, for support. So let's change to the vertical. 167.5, 170 is paying $28. That's over 10%. You think they announced layoffs? Well, this was no bueno if they announced. You know what, though? It's weird because sometimes when a company announces layoffs, the people who are the owners get excited about that because they're like, this is good. If we're laying off, we're cutting down our cost. We're, making things a little more comfortable. So sometimes the buyers or investors in a company are okay with layoffs. The people who, of course, work there aren't as fond of the concept. But that happens, right? That happens. Okay. That's Google is what I was going to look at. I also want to look at Exxon. Exxon is a fuel, right? Let's go into, I want to go to the single and then I'll go to the chart. I believe Exxon is on our call credit spread list, which it makes sense because if you're looking here, you can see it's had been on a little bit of a downwards ride, and we have, we opened up this morning with a gapper this morning. We'll see but that gap is right here in the middle of all this little hanging out spot right here. Okay, we'll put this, come on, Cletus. There we go, at the bottom of that gap. But call credit spread, of course, the top of the gap will also play. I can leave that where it is, though. Call credit spread. This would be resistance up at 117. 117 is 2. Yep. Let's go look at on the call credit spread side. 113, because it's up pretty high, is up 75%, but plus minus 2.5 puts us at 113 and some change. 114 would be safer. 114, 115 would be a safer place for that vertical. 114, 115 is paying $11 at this point. Now, what you can always do is if you want more, you can move this money. Right? You can move this to something if your $11 doesn't suit you and you're okay with waiting to enter, because that's the other piece. Sometimes people are like, I put in so-and-so and it didn't pick up. Well, it's not going to pick up till it's worth that. But if you want to enter now, if you want to get it in right now, then you take what's being offered. But if you put what you want in here, right, you can put what you want in here. I'm just putting 15 just because I want to show you something. Confirm and send. Then this shows up on the monitor screen. After, if you put in what you're looking for and it's not quite there yet, then it shows up on the monitor screen. This is the price I'm asking for is $15, and the mark is what it's currently worth, right? So you can leave this here. Sometimes I'll put stuff in the working folder so I can see what it's doing. This lets me know if the price is going down, then it's going away from that strike. If the price is going up, it's coming towards that strike, right? So I go with that. Sometimes I'm actually going to change this to I'm going to cancel replace and I'll bring it down because I'm in the sim. I'm going to bring it down to back to the $11 where it was. And I'll put it. It's still not currently worth $11 because it was showing that it was worth like 9 or 10. It's worth 10.5. Okay. Now, if you want to look at Exxon, we can look here to see there's some resistance here. We are on a downwards trend here. But if you were looking for some support, you could look below and say, well, let's see where there's some support belowhand if you wanted to investigate iron condor. Now, I feel like you should look at how can we get the most out of our money and out of our collateral? How can we get the most out of our collateral? Actually, there's a resistance, and we're right at support right there. How can I get the most out of my collateral? And you can look at that to say, okay, if I can get an iron condor out of this, go far enough away to make it into an iron condor. Now, those are, I think they're a little more useful. I'll use them or easier to do or more or less risky maybe when you get a little closer to expiration. But if you get, strikes that you're comfortable with, you can look at those earlier. So I'm going to look on the put credit spread side just to see what's going on over there. If we subtract 2.5, that puts us down at like 108, right? Puts us down in the 108 area, which is an 82% probability out of the money. So if you change this 107, 108, we can add another $10 to that. So now we're taking in $20 for our 100 of collateral versus just the $11. All right. That's going on with that. Let me see. Do I have any more? I didn't see any more tickers. I'm going to look at tomorrow. Yesterday, I made a comment about Enphase. That Enphase the premiums don't seem to want to draw up like some of the other stocks. The time can be passed, and Enphase is just like, I'm just going to stay right here. Which is probably why we got good premiums on a Thursday last week, because the premiums don't draw up like that. They just hold steady. I'm like, well, you're in a good enough spot Enphase that you should be drawing up the premiums. We should be able to start looking at some exits. And Enphase is like, no, not me. You got the wrong stock, baby. You got the wrong stock. This is HPQ, which is also on the Iron Condor list. It's neutral. It's on the Iron Condor list because it showed up as a neutral for the 67-day EMA. It shows as a neutral. Even though from where we see right here, it looks like it's been on a bit of an upwards ride. Like it's been on a little bit of an upwards ride, but it is hung in this little neutral zone. Now it's starting to move, seems like. But let's see. It made a big old pop. This was earnings. It had earnings last week. That may be that is what caused this pop up. And now we're working with what we have to work with. Okay. I'm going to swing back to SPX here in a minute. We've got resistance at 38.34, and the bottom of this gap is the top of this gap as well as the bottom of this gap and the middle of this gap is going to provide support. There's some zones inside of the gap. I'm not marking them all, but there are zones inside of the gap that are going to, I don't know what they would want right now. Okay, so let's look here. I don't think I got a doctor's appointment. Maybe I do. 38.34 is resistance and 34.38 here is support. Let's go look at our numbers and see what we see. We've got a plus minus 1 between now and Friday. So 36.5, 34.5, 34.5 is 83, 36.5 is 79. Yep, take off $1 each way. Now some people gonna feel a little uncomfortable because it's gonna be really $1 away. So 34.5 is paying $5. If we change it to 33.5, it's probably gonna not add much. Oh, it added $1 more. No, sir. I was gonna make it into a 1 spread, so that way it could. I was leaving it into a 1 spread, but nah, $5. Not as fond of that on HPQ. And then the 36.5, paying $7. And if we change this to, it pays $9 on a 1 spread. So now if you do both sides, you're taking in $14, which could feel better. $14 on a 1 spread could feel a little bit better, but I'm not overly crazy about that. Not overly crazy, especially because we're $1 away from current price. I'm not crazy about that one. Nah. Let's go look at SPX before we go to the next one. See what kind of breakout we got. If we got a breakout, we might not even have a breakout. What is this message? They're leaving a long message. I get excited and swing it and it goes too wide. Okay, so opening range, first 15 minute for those who do the opening range breakout. That's the first 15-minute candle. Up and down. Still basically hanging out inside of there for now. SPY should probably be looking about the same. And sometimes it's weird to me how SPY moves with SPX, but doesn't move with SPX. It's not really a 1-for-1 over there, over in those parts. It's not a 1-for-1. Not at all. Okay. I have one more stock we were going to look at. I'm going to look at Shopify. I don't think I have any more ones in here. Let's look at a daily chart. See what's going on. Shopify coming on back out of this. We're going for the gap. Come on, Shopify. You can go for the gap. Go for the gusto. Closed up here. We opened down here. There we go. This is the Shopify gap. Monstrous, I say. Basically, it goes from 64.19 all the way up to 77.09. Remember, the gap goes from the close to the open. So this candle closed at the top, and it opened right here at the top of this red candle. But then this price action means it's not included. So we can pull back off the gap, but all this is a gap fill. Once Shop decides it's going to go on into there, we're going to be in moving forward. So, well, how does this work for us? What can we do? Now, let's talk about it as a seller. What do we do as a seller, and what could we possibly do as a buyer? What can we do as a buyer? Because I'm not even disillusioned on the fact that we do have buyers and sellers in our community. Not only do we have them, I'm a buyer and a seller. I don't do a lot of buying, but I do look. Y'all see, I'm learning the strats so I can be more adept I'm adding tools to my tool bag, right? Let's put us some support down here. Some support and some resistance some resistances. Okay, so support would be at 57, but I bet there's one more right there, but let me change it to a line to make sure. Not kind of, there's something right here. So there is some support right in here. See all these peaks, peak, let you know there's another support in that, support or resistance. It's support now. It was resistance here, but then once it went through there, it's now support. So change it back to candles. There we go. It doesn't seem that that Shop moves super fast, right? Doesn't seem like it. Let me see what the ATR is on Shop. We're going to add a study. Let's add the ATR. I think it's here. Yeah. Let's add the ATR. I don't want Wilders. Okay, now I need to go and edit the study because I don't want Wilders. Don't know why it automatically comes as Wilders. And that's why that's the default, not what we want. Okay. So the ATR is 1.4, which means that's the average that it moves each day. The average amount it moves each day is the average true range. That's what ATR stands for. ATR stands for average true range. Basically, that it takes 14. This 14 here takes 14 days and says what's the average range of those 14 days. It averages those, and it's 1.49 or 1.5, which means shop moves about $1.50 a day, right? In order for us to get to the gap, which we're not there yet, we're at 59 and some change, or 60. We're at 60.90. No, 59.93 is where we are right now. In order for us to get to the 64, we're at 60. Let's run at 60. We're going to 64, almost $65. That's going to be 2 or 3 more days if it just goes straight up, right? Which it may or may not. That doesn't. The prices don't always go straight up. That could be at least 3 days. And then the gap is 14 points. So you got to add more days for that as well. If you're operating as a buyer. If you're operating as a buyer, you're going to need to see how long will it take us to get here and to get through here. And what am I looking for as price targets, knowing that some resistance will be inside the gap. It may not fill it all in one fell swoop, that kind of thing. So that's why if you're going to buy, you buy time. Okay. If you're a seller though, we can sell all the way up to the gap. So we're going to sell. We could sell our, we can do a put credit spread. I can get rid of the PCS at or below. I'm saying 57 because that's the bottom here on it. I'll go look at the option chain. I'll go look at the option chain. I want to edit my studies because I'm ready for that average true range to come up. I don't like to have stuff blocking up part of my charting rule. Some people like having it there. I figure when I need it, I'll go get it. And then when I don't need it no more, I take it off. Too many things to look at cause me to get distracted. Okay. So put credit spread here because we're coming out of this zone. You could honestly maybe look even at a call credit spread, but let's go look here first. Put credit spread, 78% is at 58. It's a plus minus 2 between now and Friday. So if you're subtracting 2 from where we are, that puts us at we're at 60, like 58, 57, 58, somewhere in here. 77, if you want a little more cushion, you can go down to 57 or 58. Changing it to vertical, 57, 58 is paying $15. 57.58 is paying $15. If you wanted to go, notice the 57, 56.5 breaks out into 50-cent spreads. I don't know why. That to me always feels like some kind of a hint, but one spread is only $6 down there. I don't like that part. 57.58 seems like it's okay. And then on the upside, if you want to go up to 80%, that puts you at 62. Vertical 62, 63 is paying another $13. So you can pull in $28. You can pull in $28 on Shopify. Let me make sure I highlight that. That may be a trade that we look at. Shopify, I believe, is on our list, but it's on the list as a call credit spread because it's been going down. So on the list of the call credit spread, but I think you can pull in some put credit spread. You can make it into put credit spread and potentially get you an iron condor. You change this. I liked it at 58 more than I did 57. Hey, Pierre. All is well. All is well. Anything else we need to look at? Y'all probably looking at the market and not looking at me. Y'all just listening to me drone on. She just talking. What is she? What is her talking about? What is her talking about? What made me put that on there? Don't know. SPX. See what it's doing on the 15-minute chart. Looks like price tried to break out up there. Didn't stay up there though. It's not where it goes. It's where it closed. Dash is in the same boat. Yeah, we looked at Dash, I think yesterday, last night we looked at Dash on our Start with the Chart challenge. We looked at Dash. Tonight we're going to get more into support, resistance, a little bit into trend. We're going to go into looking at the things on the chart tonight. We're going to get into looking at the things that are on the chart tonight. Okay, SPX looks like it may be trying to go out. It had a look. Oh, you know what happened? 10 o'clock. There was a announcement that Jolt's job openings was at 10, and this is this candle. That's how we got that big motion right there. But you see yesterday's price action on SPX, how it just fell, and then hit support and ran back up. This is called an engulfing candle. An engulfing candle is an indication that the price has turned or price is turning. So you know, as we learn candles, you got to be able to bring in all the pieces of knowledge, price action, candles, support, resistance, trends. You got to kind of think about all those things when you're looking at your trades, depending on how you're trading. I do find that when you're buying, it's like it's a whole lot more things to consider when you're a buyer than there is when you're a seller. Whole lot more things to consider as a buyer. Okay, I do see 52.39 on SPX as support. I also see 52.54 and I see 52.64 as support. Looks like that 52.78 is resistance. Got a few more resistance, and these are going to be stronger based on time frames, because as you get to higher time frames, you get stronger zones. But if you're looking at the 15-minute chart, I do see a few in here, right? So at this point, we're still within the 15-minute. We're still inside of that 15-minute zone. So if the breakout has not fully broken out, it went out, but it didn't stay out there. So until it goes on, then you need to just let this range be ranging until it does what it's going to do. If you're operating as a seller, you want to get beyond the resistance or below the support and enter as with your credit spreads. But you want to wait. I'm finding that one of the most difficult things, but most useful things to do is to be patiently wait for the stock to do what you want it to do. Patiently wait for it to do what you want it to do. Okay, the Start with the Chart 5-day challenge, again, is still running, We're running right now, every night at 7. We're doing that. If you want to join us on there, go ahead and get registered, and you should get an email immediately that gives you all the links and all the information that you need, right? Our membership is open. Membership includes these morning calls, includes our once a week during the week training calls. We also have coaching calls. We have a Telegram group where we trade together, and you get the full list of all the trading ideas we do have. You get a lot more access and input. And questions are there too. If you've got questions about as you're learning or as you're trading, you need some guidance and assistance. All that stuff happens inside of the membership, right? And you can go to educator2trader.com and get yourself all in on that. Okay, there we go. I'm thinking I've covered everything I need to cover. I want to make sure I don't want to ever leave us off with something that should be included. Okay, let's go see. All righty, back to our wrap up. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts growing more and more each week. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader who does not trade my emotions. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Yeah, I said that already. I think I skipped that line in the middle. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. Help us today to trade wise and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough so we can have enough for us and enough to be a blessing to others, because this is not all for us. If we can't be a conduit, then the Lord has no reason to send the resources through you, right? No reason. All righty. So I want you all to do 3 things today. I want you to stay green. I want you to get this money, and I want you to have a great green day. All right. I will see you in the market. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.